Hi guys, today I'm going to do a tutorial for you on duct tape beads. There's lots of different kinds of beads. You have this kind, you have this little kind, this bigger kind, this even bigger kind. There's several ways to do this. I'm just going to go over a few with you really quick. I'm going to get a new piece of duct tape because this one's kind of not functioning right. Okay. I'm going to use the polka dot tape just because it's going to come up with a really cool effect. And I thought, oh, I'll show them the cool one. Okay. You're going to take a piece of duct tape that's between 11 and 12 inches. 12 is standard, but it's harder to work with because your ruler is 12 inches and you really need your ruler. So I make it about 11 and a half. That's perfectly fine. It's not going to make your bead screwy or anything. First kind I'm going to show you is the straight one. The first thing you want to do is you want to take and make a straight line. It has to be perfectly straight, so if you need to measure it, go ahead and measure it. On this tape it works out nice because I can line my ruler up with the dots, and over here, the dots over here, and it makes a straight line that way. So you're going to cut a straight line. I'm cutting this at about ½ inch, I guess. Yeah, it's about ½ inch. You can make it as wide this way or as thin as you want. You pick it up. There's two ways to do this. First way I'm going to show you is the most simple. You take a straw. It can be any kind of straw. This is my personal favorite because it's hard. The hard straws work better just because they don't squish. Also, I like the thinner ones. It makes the hole in the bead smaller. The first method is with the straw. So you go to the end. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. But you take the straw right up to the edge of the straw here. You're going to put it on the very edge of the tape. And you're going to line the edge of the straw up with the edge of the tape. You're going to make sure the straw is straight with the edge of the tape. And then you just start rolling. That's it. Just roll. You have to roll straight. If you don't roll straight, you're going to not have a pretty bead. So if you need to hold it like this to help maneuver the tape, that's fine. The tape doesn't stay straight on its own. I'm not going to lie. You really have to work it to keep it straight. You don't have to make your tape 11 inches either. I just did. Whatever you do is fine. It just depends on how thick you want your bead. You can make it 50 inches. It really doesn't matter. The longer it is, the thicker your bead's going to be this way because the more you're going to have to wrap it. So there's your bead. Then you just cut it off. Whoop! It flew across the table. There you have it, and you can string it. I'm just putting these on embroidery floss, but you can put it on any kind of... I actually use stretchy cord when I make my bracelets, but I'm just putting it on here. You can make necklaces, whatever. The second method I'm going to show you is a little bit tricky. We're going to do a different kind of bead for this one. What you're going to do is on one end you're going to mark it at ½ inch or however long you want your bead to be. And on the other end you're going to mark it at pretty much 0. Like you want it to be like 1 millimeter. Like that's it. So you put this at 1 millimeter down here. You put this at like ½ inch or how. I mean, if you can adjust this, okay, you can make it wider like that, but you want to leave this really small. So you get it to where you want it. Let me get back because I have a mark already made. And then you're just going to cut it. Make sure it's straight. You have to cut it with a ruler because it has to be a straight line. You can use any straight edge, but rulers are just easier. Okay. This is how you're going to do it with a toothpick if you don't have straws available. Like I use Capri Sun straws, so I have them all the time. But you're going to fold the end about 1/4 inch to the end. Like that. So you're going to fold it down on top of itself. The reason you do this is because when you're wrapping around the toothpick, you don't want it to stick to the toothpick. It's going to make wrapping it a little difficult, but if you don't have straws, that's the only way to make the bead because Otherwise you can't stick string through because it'll be sticky. So you're going to wrap it as tight as you can because you don't want any sticky to get touching the toothpick. And you'll keep wrapping until it gets a little sticky onto itself. And then you're just going to do the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're making a diagonal bead or if you're making the straight one. You do the same. You've got to keep the tape in the middle. It's going to get smaller and smaller towards the sides. Oh, piece of straw. I need to clean this. This is a smaller bead, but I'm just rolling it. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just rolling it. Just like I did before. See if you can see it like this a little better. You got to keep it in the middle. You got to keep this part in the middle when you're rolling it. Like that. And if it gets undone, if it gets not in the middle, don't worry, just undo it. I mean, it's tape, it's going to go back. It's a really easy way to make your own beads rather than using the paper. And the paper's great, but you have to glaze the paper, you have to glue the paper, you have to cut the paper, you have to color the paper. This, you just cut and roll, and it's so fast. That's it. Look at that bead. That's crazy looking. I haven't made a polka dot one before. And then with the toothpick ones, you pull them off. You don't leave them on there. And you string it through like that. To string it through, if you're using something like embroidery floss, you have to wet the end. Just lick it or something. Some people don't like putting things in their mouth. Then you just get some water and dunk it in the water. And then you just string it through like that. Here's a fire bead I made that's a little wider. And there's a green one. So I mean, you can make them all different sizes. You can make them the flat ones. You can make them more round. Or you can make them like elongated like this. Really just be creative with it. Try different patterns of duct tape to get different visual effects, you know. Those were polka dot and flame, and this is polka dot and flame. The great thing about, and then there's obviously solid colors. The great thing about these is you don't have to tape or glaze them. I'm going to show you one more thing. It's a little bit more advanced. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't work for you. I've actually not tried it yet, but I know it's going to work. Just because I have a friend that makes paper beads, so it's going to be two-toned. What you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of tape. I don't suggest making it very long. I would say probably like 9 inches would be more than enough. You're going to cut out your triangle where it's skinny at one side, wide at the other. I'm not measuring it because I really don't care what size I make. But I'm lifting up the excess tape this time. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to show you how to make a two-toned bead. And the reason I suggest not making it very long is because it's going to be like double thick. So, yeah. Cut another 9-inch piece. This time, make another triangle, but make it a lot skinnier than the first one. This is just one technique. I'll make another video showing more later, or you can ask me and I'll come up with it. What you want to do is stick it straight on top of the other piece, and you want to line up the edges. Like the green edge is lined up perfectly with the pink edge underneath. And then if the ends don't line up perfectly, you can just chop them out. This is just one type of bead. It's just a two-toned one. And I'm going to do this on a straw just because I like them on a straw better. It comes out cleaner. But again, you line up the edge of the straw with the edge of the tape. The edge of the straw with the edge of the tape. What are you doing here? And then you just, again, you just roll it. Actually, I forgot a step. You need to make a pink top, because otherwise the pink side's going to be not as high. Like, I don't know how to explain that except for the fact that you don't want the green side's higher than the pink side, so it'll be uneven when you roll it. It won't roll right. I knew I forgot a step. You've got to really just play with it until you figure it out, but this is just showing you like another thing you can do. Okay, now it's rolling right. You just roll it like that. Just like before, you just roll it like that. You can play with different things like striping and stuff. That's the two-tone bead. And then you cut it off. I'll try to show you one more, but can't make any promises because I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. One more thing you can do. You can also take like permanent marker, which is the same thing you do with the paper beads. And I'll show you real quick what I'm going to do. Let me just get my marker real quick. This works really well on white tape. You can use any color marker you want. This is the same thing that my friend did with her regular beads. You can make like lines. I'm totally crediting her in this video because she showed me how to do this, even though she's not a duct taper. I'm going to comment. You can make things like this. And you just need to make sure you let it dry. Because like, you know, duct tape kind of, see, you can kind of, you know. So let it dry. I'm not going to let it dry because I want to get this on because I don't have so much time. But you just do the same thing. Every time you roll it the same way. Unless you're using a toothpick, but you roll the two thick ones all the same way. And you just basically anything you can do with regular paper beads, you can do with duct tape ones. And they're a lot quicker if you need to do something for a quick project. Like, because you don't have to glaze them. See? You got like a cool stripy pattern. But anyways, and then you would cut that off, of course. Thanks for watching, and this is like, I mean, I've made these all just like in 10-20 minutes maybe. These plus this one plus these two. But yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video, and please subscribe if you have not done so already. There will probably be at least one tutorial a week. I mean, I'm not going to make any promises because I'm really busy. Sometimes I'll have several tutorials up in a day, sometimes I won't have any up. So it's just really going to depend. Alright, thank you guys.